Hello again. Okay, this is a short one. This is one of the shorter ones I will have done, I would imagine. I think it's something I mentioned in intro one. In intro one, I said 10 or 12 subjects I was going to cover in the first week. This was one of them. I've actually recorded about 3 videos already. I think this is the 4th, and of the 3, a couple weren't mentioned in that intro one. I threw something in about, you may have heard about Donald Trump and Boris Johnson, because it's, take these off the glares there again, because at the moment it's pretty topical with the Don going to a court today in America. But this is one that I said we'll cover. It's Scousers. Now, Scousers, where do we start? Okay, I won't tell you where I live at this stage, only because it's something to do with nobody knowing that I'm on here. Obviously they'll find out in the end, and when they do, then I'll let you all know where I live. Not that it really matters what area I live, because it's relevant to a team I support in the old rugby league there, because I'm from a rugby league town. But often when I tell people where I'm from, they'll say, "Oh right, you're a Scouser." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not a Scouser. No, I'm not a Scouser." I've said that for many a year now, but just let me say, I've worked all over the country over the years, most certainly in England. In England I've worked virtually most everywhere. These places I've worked, and I don't remember I've worked there because I've worked that many places. I've worked a good few places in Wales, mainly north I must admit, a good few places in Wales, a little in Scotland but not much, and never in Ireland. I think I've only ever been to Ireland once to watch the races at Punchestown at the festival there many years ago. But I've worked all over the UK and met loads and loads and loads of wonderful people. I mean, loads of wonderful people in lots of areas. You know, I'm a northerner. They say us northerners are better talkers and more welcoming and more pleasant than down south, and that might be a case in, you know, many instances. But as I say, I've worked all over the UK, and you know, that's obviously Cockneys, Brummies, lots of different places. I was in Norwich only a year and a half ago. It's a long way from where I live, but lots of people, and they're all great. But I've just got to say, of all the people I've ever come across, I don't think I've ever met a better breed of people than Scousers. I love Manx. I'm a Man United fan. You know, I've done a video a few minutes ago about Man United, well, about Ronaldo and the Piers Morgan interview, which you may or may not have seen. That would get me in trouble with a few maybe United fans, because I railed against Ronaldo a little bit. This might get me even more in trouble, because I'm saying, you know, for all I'm a massive United fan, I love Scousers, and I do. I probably visit Liverpool on a night out more than anywhere else at the moment. The town I live in used to have a good nightlife. It's now really poor, especially for my age group. And Liverpool's great. It's a banging place. It's great. I've had nights out in Manchester on a good few occasions over the years. Not as much of late. I've got to say, probably Manchester isn't quite as much of a cup of tea anyway. Manchester's all well and good for looking at people and being something, and you know, wine bars and fancy eating and what have you. But probably Liverpool's more down to earth, and I like down to earth. It's how I've been brought up. It's what I like. I like entertainment. I like to be entertained, and I get a lot more of that in Liverpool than Manchester. I'm sure there's lots of places that I could get that from in Manchester, but I think they're more spaced out and not as much in the centre. Liverpool I love, and I just love Scousers. As I say, he'll probably get me in trouble with lots of United fans, because United fans tend to not like Scousers, and vice versa, Scousers don't like Manx, but I just love the Scousers. There was something on, I remember, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, time flies so I forget, on the Breakfast, not the Breakfast Show, the Jim White, Simon Jordan show on TalkSport, about a year and a half ago, and they were having a pop at the Liverpool fans. I think it was Liverpool fans. It could have been Everton, but no, it was definitely Liverpool. There'd been a game away. I can't remember what country it was in. Liverpool fans will remember it anyway. It was, I think they'd been reported for, I think they'd pushed a couple of people in fountains somewhere or other. Can't remember where it was. And they were knocking the Liverpool fans on the show. the presenters were, and also many of the callers were. I almost found myself ringing up to defend the Liverpool fans, not for doing it, because I can't say I condone or agree with that. But what I will say is this, I mean, when United go into Europe, they take thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of fans. As do Liverpool, as do, I'm sure, Celtic and Rangers. They're probably the big four. These other teams, but they're probably the big four. And what I will say is, you get any crowd of people and you'll get an idiot amongst that crowd. You might get a couple of idiots. But the bigger the crowd is, the more idiots you'll get. And because Liverpool take hundreds of thousands like Man United do, there's going to be 2 or 3 more in there than there would normally be. So these things tend to happen. But the good fans who have been through one hell of a lot, like we have ourselves, you know, and they've come out the other side and they're still supporting the team, you know, and credit to them. So Scousers, I love. You'll never get me knocking Scousers. I'll knock the football team, and I'll knock various players that play for the football teams, but as a people, I won't, because they're absolutely great. And that's just thoughts on Scousers. Why I've aired it, I don't know, but I thought it was relevant. And again, I think I'm trying to show that this channel is as truthful as can be. A weird channel, yes it is. As I say, it's just me whining on and wittering on and doing what I do. Hopefully some of you may like it. I mean, probably most of you won't, but some of you may. But I'm just trying to show that I try to be a level-headed channel, and it's spoken with honesty, you know, and that's basically it, you know. As I say, there's not many Mancunians, or especially United fans, that will say anything good about Scousers, and vice versa. And let me say this, in the 10, 20, 25 years that Liverpool were winning everything, when I was young, I hated them with a passion. I mean, I still do. I always want us to beat them. The 7-0 the other week was like a killer. But what I must say is, at that time I did say, it's alright I'm beating them 7-0, but what they're going to do in the next 3 games? Now, I never expected Bournemouth to beat them, but they did. And they've not done well since. And I never thought they would. They won't make top 4 this year and qualify for Europe. I'm sure they won't. I thought that the day that they beat us. Because something's gone wrong there at the moment. Van Dijk isn't the player he was. Something's amiss there massively. Yeah, they've got great players, but the fight's gone, I think. You know, they're not scoring. I'm going on to football now to say about Scousers, but one links to the other, I suppose. It's the big game for them. Liverpool are a big team there. The fight seems to have gone, you know. They struggle to score a goal, and when they do, they can't protect it. And say they're just not fighting for, you know, like we were at the weekend against Newcastle, but they're doing that with regularity. The fight just isn't there. Why, I don't know, but it's definitely not there. You know, in days gone by, they could fight, they could win, and they were up there, and this year they're just struggling. I'm sure they'll come back again, but whether they'll get to the level that we're at, I don't know, because other teams now are improving past them. Something is amiss. And I don't mind seeing that, because I'm a United fan and I don't want to see them keep doing well against us. But after the 7-0 win, when the crowd were baying for blood and were worth 2 goals themselves, and the team were flying, and you know, they should be doing a lot better than they're doing. But that was, as Gary Neville said, a one-off day. You know, everything they did went for them. Virtually every shot was on target. The 2 goals after half-time within about 3 minutes killed United, and there was no coming back from there. They had the momentum, and the crowd cheered them on, but something's wrong there. But anyway, that doesn't take away from the fact that for all I love the Scousers doing crap at football and us bossing them as a people, I think you're great. Okay, that's ended now.